Hello and welcome to our final Section 5 live of the school year. For AJ Feldman, I'm Alexa Ross. Time flies when you're having fun, and nothing exemplified that more than the spring sports season.
Yeah, the spring season gone and came and played in the blink of an eye, but man, it was a fun one. Good to see, especially at the end of it. You know, we've said this maybe 20 times on this show lately. Things really got back to normal with those big student sections and those championship games.
Oh yeah, I was at Fairport for the boys lacrosse title game, and it was just bumping, and it felt like a normal night, and it was great, and I hope that we get that coming up in the fall for football season, but we can't get ahead of ourselves yet because we still have to talk about these spring sports, kind of put a bow on this year. I didn't even think we'd have this season, so it's great to be able to kind of stand here and talk about, hey, we did it.
Yeah, after last year when obviously we did not have a spring sports season, so nice to see all these spring sports athletes who didn't get what probably was their junior season get to finish their last year, go out on the right way, not end with any sort of, cancellation, snafus. And that's the thing, we did see some of that in the fall, in the winter, but in the spring, really nothing in terms of, COVID outbreaks, quarantines, anything like that. Things went on schedule. We ended with the sectional championship games. Next year we'll be back for state tournaments. Great to see. You love to see it.
I was going to say, it was, I'd love to be able to see a state title game right now, but, I get why we have to be safe and we have to, take some time, let it be. So the state championships will be that much more exciting. But I think we should start out and talk about some of our favorite moments of this championship season. What do you got, AJ?
Yeah, there were certainly a lot of them. We'll get to a few of them here. We're going to start out with girls lacrosse, and we had some great girls lacrosse matchups. Canandaigua and Victor, the Class B championship game. This was a great game, and the story of this game is that girl right there on your screen. McKenna Davis, she had 5 goals to win the Class B title, 5 of their 9 goals in that championship game. They won 9-7, and she was just on a different level. In this game, Victor versus Canandaigua, where there were 11 future Division I players on this field, and McKenna Davis was just a step above of everybody, which is really tough to do with the competition she was playing. Just took over this game. Canandaigua's plan seemed to be get it to her, she'll do good things, it's a great idea to have. She was just phenomenal in this game, a great Class B championship for Canandaigua, going to play in the All-American game as well. And then not only was that game great, just to kind of talk for a little bit here about the Class A game, you had Grace O'Hara for Pittsford, a game-winning goals with less than 15 minutes to go. Rush Henrietta down 2 with less than 5 minutes. They score twice, get that tying goal. Then Pittsford wins the draw control. They get their play they want. Grace O'Hara scores. Just a phenomenal game. Great girls lacrosse all around in Section 5 this year. I
do want to say happy birthday to McKenna Davis. It's her 18th birthday today, which is awesome. That Grace O'Hara goal was really cool to watch. Grace O'Hara is a star soccer player as well, so you just know she has wheels and she can just keep it going no matter what is happening. I was at the Class D game, and that was Aquinas and Palmac. And Palmac is one of those teams that is just like go, 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 doesn't stop, they beat you down. They were up a lot, and Aquinas started to rally by the time I got there in the second half. It wasn't enough, and Palmac was able to win, but big credit to Aquinas for not giving up in this moment on a Friday night with all of these fans there, not in your house either. So it was really nice to see that, and there was just a ton of people there. There were a lot of Aquinas fans there, even though they were in Palmac territory. Palmac's not necessarily the closest school, so I think it was a great girls lacrosse season through and through.
Yeah, and your Class C winner, HFL, 9th straight in a row. That was just a domination game. Cougars really have something special going there as well.
Oh, yeah. Now we're going to take it to boys lacrosse. I want to take a look at the overtime winners in Class A. They were awesome. Pittsford rallied 9-2 to tie it up at 10 against McQuaid. This is a game that went into double overtime. Quinn Whipple scored that game winner to send them to the Class A game. So then they go and play Fairport. This is another game that ended up ending in a tie. And when you have a game that ends in a tie, I mean, you can just see how happy these guys were. But when you see a game that ends in a tie like that, right off of the face-off, Jackson Monty gets the feed. He just absolutely rips it. And that's the golden goal. That was 10 seconds into overtime as compared to the double overtime that Pittsford had to endure. So it was really cool to see this kind of balance of these overtime game winners in Class A. I know we talk a lot about Class B, but those were a lot of fun to watch. I had a really good time watching them. I'm going to talk a little bit about that Class B game, too, because I was at that one as well. I mean, you doubted me. You doubted me when I said Thomas was the team to beat, and they were
I don't know if you said they were the team to beat.
Yeah, I said they were I was like, you know, if anybody's going to beat Victor, it's going to be Thomas. And if Thomas beats Victor, they win.
That's not exactly the same. All right. She definitely believed the Thomas train more than I did in the early on.
I was riding for Thomas, and they did it, and it was really, really great to see. I mean, these guys, they really locked him down in the second half. It was a really gritty game. They did a really good job of just really keeping Canandaigua out of it. And Canandaigua, if they get inside, you're done. If they have to just get close and they can rip it and they're done when you have a guy like Sam Bennett. There are 5 All-Americans in the Section 5 boys lacrosse world, and one of them is on Canandaigua's team, Sam Bennett, 2 from Victor, 1 from Penyan, I believe, and then the other is from...
Thomas.
Thomas, yep, there you go.
They're their goalie.
Yep, so you have a lot of great talent in the boys' side of things. What have you seen? What did you think when you got down to it?
Yeah, well, certainly, you know, in that Class B title game, Thomas holding Canandaigua to 0 goals in the first 3 quarters. That was just phenomenal. And then I saw them play in that semifinal game against Victor. They just did such a great job, specifically against Cal Lambert, who you mentioned, All-American, going to West Point. Just a great threat, and they did a great job against him in both their games. I saw them playing against them all season. He was really uncomfortable throughout the entire game. That Victor-Thomas game, really physical, a lot of big hits, really just a really fun game to be at. And yeah, you know, defense wins championships. Thomas certainly proved that this year in Class B, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. You want to take it to baseball?
Let's take it to baseball, where baseball, Gage Zeal's world, and of course we were just all living in it. The future MLB draft pick was just dominant for Penfield in their Class AA championship run. In fact, all of their pitchers were great. Zeal pitched a shutout in the quarterfinal game. Penfield got another shutout in the semifinal game, and Zeal with his gem in the championship game. No runs allowed for Penfield in their playoff run in that Class AA championship game against Hilton. 1 hit shutout. 12 strikeouts, faced 1 more than the minimum. He was just on a different level. When you see a guy of his talent just go against, you know, a Hilton team that was the 4th seed, they had some great moments. They had a great 13-inning game to beat Webster Schrader in Schrader. That was just a phenomenal game I was at as well. But Gage Zeal, nobody was touching him. I texted Paul Gotham over at Pick 'em Splinters. He was at that game, of course. And Penfield scored 3 runs in the first inning, and I'm just like, it's over. And it was, because there was just no chance that Penfield was going to give up many runs to with Gage Zeal on the mound. They had some great defense as well. And, you know, certainly in a sport like baseball, it takes a lot for one player to do it. They had a great team behind him as well. But when you got a starting pitcher like that, it's just almost unfair.
I'm really excited to see his ACC debut. I'm excited to see him go up against Casey Sauke when he's playing at Virginia. I love the ACC baseball scene. It is one of my favorite things in college sports. So I'm excited to see what both of them do. Gage Zeal is a big guy. He really is. I was shocked. I haven't seen him pitch in person. So to see that video and to cut that video today, I was like, whoa, this kid, he's special. I'm excited to see where he ends up, how his MLB career goes. I mean, we have a lot of great baseball talent that's come out of this area between Danny Mendick and Ernie Clement and all these kinds of guys. So Gage Zeal's next on the list.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to watch his career, that's for sure. And we had some great softball players as well in Section 5 this year, too.
We did. I'm going to take it to Class A2 for HFL's walk-off win for their 2nd ever softball title. They rallied from a 4-1 deficit in the 7th. They scored 1 run on a fielder's choice with a drop at first base. Then Kate Daler hit the RBI single up the middle. That made it a 1-run game. Next batter, Quinn Adcock. She hit the chopper to right, and that scored the runner from 2nd. Outfield throw was wide. Daler she scored all the way from 1st to win that game, so it was just that kind of rally, gritty kind of game that you got to see. They were incredible. Webster Schrader had a really great situation going as well. Chrislyn, she is one of those people that when you look at what she can do, 2-run home run, the walk-off to win Schrader that title. I mean, these girls, the Evanetsky twins from Brighton, I mean, when you have these kinds of these players who show up in big moments, those are the sectional moments that we live for.
Yeah, definitely. And you mentioned Schrader, just a dominant run throughout their entire season. I believe they finished with 0 loss in Section 5 play this year, correct?
Correct. They lost. Their 2 losses were to a Section 6 school and Section 4's Maine and Well. Maine and Well has won upwards of 9 recent softball titles. I know that because I covered them. But they are the team to beat in the state. So to lose, to have your 1 loss be to them, and then one of the best teams in Section 6, I mean, you can't complain about that. You really can't. They were tight-knit, they were really strong, they were really solid, and from the beginning, they knew they were going to go out there and win.
Yeah, definitely. One of those situations where, it would have been fun to see them go through a state tournament run. We have so many teams, and Penn Yan, boys lacrosse for sure. They didn't face much competition in their class as well, so it would have been nice to see them make those runs. But that's for next year, and we just got to savor the moments we had this year and all the good times we had covering Section 5 sports this spring season.
That is it for this year's Section 5 Live. We'll be back in the fall to tell you all about football, field hockey, soccer, and more. But until then, for AJ Feldman, I'm Alexa Ross. We'll see you next time.
Thanks for watching all year long.